So I'm pretty sure we've all heard the divorce horror stories. So what are some of the pitfalls that you've seen over the years?
Oh gosh. Well, I did litigation work for about 20 years. And, although I always tried to be very settlement oriented, like, hey, let's just sit down, work this out reasonably. I'll have to say, I don't want to sound too cynical, but I have to say, working with other attorneys often made that extremely challenging. There didn't really seem to be a big incentive for settling because they, business model wise, didn't make a lot of sense for them. So there would be often endless court battles where, each client's paying like $10,000, $15,000 each hearing, and there's just hearing after hearing, and the emotional distress of the parties, it can just be completely overwhelming. And then, the costs just eat up all of their savings, and it's pretty sad what can happen.
Yeah, and I imagine it'd be really challenging to find closure and healing, dealing with all of that adversarial fighting that's inherent in that. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people have at least heard of mediation or want to stay out of court. So what would be some options for them if they want to avoid that?
Well, certainly mediation, I think, is one of the best options out there. I mean, you can always look into handling things on your own. The family law facilitator's office has, information for parties that want to try to get things resolved without having to hire a professional. But if you're involving an expert to assist you, provide guidance and feedback, mediation is by far the best way to go. I'm a bit biased in that working with an attorney mediator, I think, is far better than a mediator who is not a licensed attorney, because then they're not supposed to at least be giving you any advice on how the law works. They often try, but don't typically even get it right. So working with an attorney mediator who has experience doing family law for many years obviously would be best, and probably the most cost-effective way.
What about the couples out there that feel confident that they already have an agreement, or maybe just need some questions answered, or maybe they just are super confused and overwhelmed with all the paperwork? How would you suggest they get help?
Sure. I think traditionally a lot of folks would turn to, say, like a paralegal service or Legal Zoom or something like that to keep costs down. But honestly, what we charge for our paperwork package that doesn't involve mediation is comparable, if not less than a lot even what paralegals charge for the services. And it includes, asking all kinds of questions, whatever is pertinent, to an experienced family law attorney that's been doing this stuff for over 27 years. So I would say utilize that. Ask me as many questions as you have. I really enjoy providing information to folks so that they feel comfortable and they're making an agreement based on awareness and understanding, as opposed to intimidation or afraid that it's going to cost too much. Everything is included in the flat fees that we charge. So you can ask a question every single day. I'm always happy to answer them.
So what's the main difference between the divorce mediation service and the divorce paperwork service?
Whether you need assistance with communications and working together, where we're sitting down, spending more time together to come up with the actual terms of the agreement, or if you're fairly confident at least that you can come to terms with just getting a few questions answered.
Of course, in both of those cases, all phone and email support is included in the flat fee. We send out questionnaires to help you gather the information that's needed. Also included is drafting and filing all of the court documents. So we handle that all for you, so you don't have to worry about any of those court forms. And we explain everything in easy to understand language, so there's no legal jargon that you have to try to understand.
Yeah, and always available to answer questions. I mean, that's really kind of the heart of what I do, is to provide information so that people feel comfortable in understanding what they're agreeing to and understanding the process, but without getting too caught up into the weeds and the logistics where they get overwhelmed by all of it.
So the name of our practice is called Conscious Divorce. To you, what does that mean?
Well, primarily awareness-based resolution. It has to do with making sure that folks are well informed so they can make good informed decisions. And it's coming from it from a perspective of cooperation, kindness, compassion for everyone that's involved in the process, so that they can move through it in a, as healing of a way as possible, and to really minimize the amount of upset and conflict that's involved in all of that.
So say someone has questions, they want to learn more, maybe they want to find out which option might work better for them. What would you suggest?
Well, just reach out and set up a free phone consultation. 20, 30 minutes, doesn't cost you anything. And I explain how the whole process works. Watch some other of the videos on this channel so that you can see, what's involved with it, and then make a list of specific questions that you have for me. I'm always happy to get into the details of, whatever your circumstances are, and provide you with some feedback, all in the hopes that you can work through things amicably. And, I really believe that peace is a choice. It usually comes from gathering enough information to know what your options are.
Great. Well, I'm Janessa. This is Michael. We're Conscious Divorce. You can reach us at consciousdivorce.com. Give us a call at 619-800-1801. You can send us a message on our website, or you can send us an email at info@consciousdivorce.com.